Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Dream, and welcome to the It's All Good show. Um, I was going to say this show is really important to me, but I realize I may say that every single week. But this show has very special meaning to me because my guest is I was going to say that my guest is someone that I hold in very high respect, and I hold all my guests in very high respect. But today's guest is Victoria Benoit, and Victoria has helped me, assisted my journey and the journey of different family members and close friends of mine for the last 23 years. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself in a moment, but many of you that have been to one of my events on the Tour of Love, certainly in the last 2 years, so 150 some events, you've heard me speak about her. She plays an integral role in my story, and in my healing, and in what has me doing what I'm doing right now, and in my life. And so uh, I wanted to get a number of shows under my belt before I brought Victoria on, because I wanted it to be, really at the highest level. And she is, as you can imagine, 23 years of working on helping Dr. Dream work on his stuff. She's an angel. And so, without going any deeper on my end, I want to introduce Victoria Benoit. Victoria, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm excited.
Before we get started, and we'll talk about a little bit about what we're going to do, but before we do all that, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Like, who is Victoria Benoit? What do you do? What is your background? Just kind of bring our listeners into a little bit of your world and what you're about as the foundation for today's experience with you.
Wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about because, people have credentials and they have uh, degrees and all that, which I have. But what I really want your listeners to know is that I just love people and I love helping them to identify and shift the patterns that are actually holding them back from having what they want in life. And so that's kind of my specialty in a way. And I've been doing the work I do for about 35 years and just absolutely love it. And I really feel like I'm making a big dent in people's lives. I feel like they're cheerleader on the sidelines of their lives because I'm very encouraging and it's just a pattern. We think that we're so flawed and wounded. We may feel that way, but in our essence, we are not flawed and we are not wounded. We just have a pattern. And so it's really as simple as moving a radio dial. If you had a teenage son and you had hip hop on in the car and you went in the car afterwards and you wanted jazz, you would turn a knob, you would press a button, or these days you would say jazz, right? And jazz shows up. And it's completely a totally different sound vibration. And that's really the work that I do is based on resonance, we call it. If you resonate with someone, you're in sync with them. When you resonate with an idea, it inspires you, right? And so I help people shift their resonance or the frequency vibration. And you can always tell the vibration that what you're at is because whatever you've got going on in your life, you are at the vibration of that. And so, since we're all responsible for the quality of our lives, I believe that we have a responsibility to shift our patterns, and it doesn't have to take 10 years. Doesn't even have to take 10 sessions. It could even take 3 sessions. I can't clear 30 years of depression in in one session, but and it's not a magic pill either, but it is a way that you get results. And that's why after I got my master's degree in counseling, I stayed in the field about 9 months, and it just wasn't a fit. He said, she said, and I just I just wasn't getting the results I wanted with people. And since I'm such a results-oriented person, I started studying repatterning, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's pretty much, and I'm married, recently married, so I'm excited about that. A wonderful man in my life, and I just feel really fulfilled and, you know, available to help people. So,
Well, I've always said from my perspective and my own process that whenever I encounter something that I can't quite on my own get to the core of, there's something I'm blocking myself from seeing or understanding, that you are the front line that I reach out to, and that goes with Stephanie and Maya and other family members of mine. And your deep love and compassion
mm,
has always shown through for us. You know, that's one of the things we say is that, you know, there's we never feel a love like we feel from Victoria. And you've helped us through, I'll just speak for me. You've helped me through some of the most challenging times and
mhm.
aspects of my life.
You're doing
And
that.
it's been truly incredible. I mean, it's funny you say there's no magic pill, and from the emotional body perspective and my own perspective of healing, you're as close to anything I've found to a magic pill, because your process is able to identify what's going on. It has you stepping out of the way, and we're going to talk about how all that works. And
Mhm.
it's just guided by our truth and the truth of like universal truth. And I'm sure I'm probably butchering, you know, the true meaning and everything of what this is about. But that's really where how I see it, and it's been fascinating. So when I asked you to be on the show, one of the things was, um, I said to you, I said, you know, well, some of the shows get some pretty heavy information,
Right.
and this show with you, I want us to be able to give the viewer a tool,
Mhm.
and to give them an experience that helps them see who they are, how powerful they are, the ability to shift things. Um, and I think it's important. So here we are. It is the beginning of December.
Mhm.
We've made it through the election season, which
Mhm.
seemed to last an extraordinarily long time.
Mhm.
We're in now that in between holiday time that can bring up a lot of stuff for people,
Right.
and it can present us with challenges,
Right.
you know, be it with family dynamics or depression or
Mhm.
whatever it is. And we're leading into the new year, you know, where we get to kind of, you know, work on starting with a clean slate and set our intentions and really focus and everything. So talk to us a little bit about how today's going to go, or if you want to give a little bit of more information about mind body repatterning, which is what your main modality is called, and how that works. But I'm going to kind of let you go, and I'm going to sort of fill in or ask
Oh,
questions as needed.
okay. That sounds great. Well, I thought we'd start with just telling a little bit about, what this process is and how it works. And like I said earlier, it's based on vibration or frequency. And if you think about it, there has to be a place within our body-mind system that knows what the patterns are, where they came from, how they originated, what are the conclusions that you came to about life, about love, about money, about spirituality, about yourself, which is probably the most damaging, given an event that happened. And so what I do is I ask permission from the client, I call it the innate wisdom, to access that part in them that knows, because I'm not psychic. I mean, how would I know what anyone's, where their patterns originated or even what the patterns are? In fact, the client may not even know. If they knew what the patterns are, they'd probably clear them themselves, right? A lot of it is unconscious, hidden from their view, I call it. And so once the client gives me permission to access that innate wisdom within them, then I give them permission to access my innate wisdom. It's kind of only fair. But within my body mind system is the healing method, and all the books and all the repatternings that I have available. And so using the kinesiology, this is the muscle checking, and this would be like an on muscle check response, and this would be an off. So that's how I access the innate wisdom within the client. But the beautiful part about this system, which is different than any other system that I know, is that the client is directing the session through the muscle checking. They're telling me, given everything I have to offer and what I have available for their healing, they're telling me what they need, where to begin the session, what the patterns are, how they originated, and how to clear them, because I wouldn't know that either, right? I wouldn't know how to clear it. I mean, this method is unique in that it has hundreds of different modalities to clear and shift. It could be color therapy, it could be sound therapy, it could be essential oils or essences, your chakra bowls, it could be something like that. It could be now, I'm not an acupuncturist, but I could put a tuning fork on an acupuncture point and it could clear that meridian. Um, and so that's kind of how we do a little dance. So I, again, ask permission from the client to access their energy field. I give them permission to access mine. And then we just start the process. I mean, I can show you a little bit about what it looks like. This is a little flow chart that I use. And I would just muscle check where to begin. And I'm getting all that information from the client. And so if I had a job at all, it would just be to hold a nice sacred healing space for someone to go deep. And so that's really kind of what I do. And so today, I want to back up just a little bit because there's a couple things that I think that are important. I kind of make it really simple. I think there's a couple things happening in life. You either have something you don't want, or you want something that you don't have. And so I can assist people with a concern that they have or a problem, um, or I can align people with their goals and dreams, which is perfect for, usually January, but I think you can do it anytime, any month of the year. One of the things that I was hoping to do today is just to allow your listeners to identify something that they want. And perhaps just right now, I mean, they can identify a belief that's holding them back from having what they want, um, and take them through a little process so that can experience the work a little bit and do the modality at the end. And find out, well, how you feel before, and then take them through the process and how you feel differently, more hopeful, more assured, something like that is an idea. And then I want to teach some modalities so that as you're going through life, and you're witness a car accident or something, what do you do right then? You pull over and, I keep a couple things in my purse. One of them is your rose oil, which is the most highest frequency rose oil that I know. So or if I'm going into having a conversation with someone that I'm a little bit anxious about, I just, smell the oil, and it works because I ask it to work. I think we were way more powerful than we know ourselves to be. So you can take any oil, you can just pick one oil, and you can go to the health food store and just buy one oil. It could be lavender or whatever, and say, I'm going to smell this oil 2 times, and it's going to help me to have a conversation, with my mother or with my boyfriend or whoever it might be. And then you smell the oil, and I really believe that it does what we say it's going to do because of the power that we have that we don't know we have. We don't always know. And so, or, this is rescue remedy, it's a Bach flower remedy that those are the two go things that I keep in my purse. And
Just want to interject here. This is something I talk about all the time, that when we focus our attention on our intention,
right.
that's our power play. And it can be, I tell people, a lot of times, I mean, I guess one of the first ways this came up is people would say to me, "Oh, I need to get all seven chakra bowls." And I'm like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
unless you're a practitioner, you really don't. I said, get the bowl that you're drawn to. And if it's a solar plexus bowl or
Mhm.
whatever it is, that's great. But you're going to wake up one morning, or you're going to have an experience one day where it's like your solar plexus is fine, but your heart needs healing,
Right.
or your
Right.
connection to God, source, the universe through your crown chakra needs fine tuning. And all you need to do, because we're the variable, is
Mhm.
set your attention on your intention to take a solar plexus bowl and have it heal my heart right now, have it assist in comforting my heart space. And so I love that you're talking about that, because we've all got tools around. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that certainly most people that will watch this podcast, that they don't have one essential oil.
Right.
And now, knowing how empowered they are to take that one oil and make it work for them in a whole broad range of circumstances is just great. So I appreciate you talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's so I love helping people align, with their goals and dreams. In fact, we could just go right into that right now if this would be a good time, unless you had any other questions for me.
No, I'm so excited right now. I'm just,
Yeah.
on pins and needles to be providing this for anyone that's going to be watching it. So yeah, let's go. Let's go into it.
Okay. Wonderful. So what I'm going to do is just have everyone relax and just take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and then out through your nose. This is a wonderful breathing pattern. I just call it nose breathing. But what it does, it balances the parasympathetic nervous system, which moves you out of the uh, fight flight. We always seem to be anxious. So if you just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, and then focus your energy down into your precious heart. That's a really great way of starting your day. It's a great way of starting this little session we're going to be doing. So let's have everyone just do that right now. Just take a few deep breaths, me included. Just in through the nose and then out through the nose. And again, centering yourself and your precious heart. And like Mark did, you could put your hand over your heart, not necessary, but it's a really great way to focus our attention. Now I'd like you to think about something that you want that you don't have. Now, I wouldn't pick the big one today, but pick something. It could be closer communication with someone, or um, it could be you want to raise, it could be just anything. Just think about something that it is that you say that you want. And I would get the details, as many details as possible, the environment that you might be in, if there's any smells, taste, any whatever you're seeing yourself having already accomplished this. This is very important. Um, and then as you're doing this, I want you to imagine how you're going to feel once you actually have what you say you want. What are those feelings? Because if you don't resonate with really the feeling of accomplishment or the feeling of joy, it's going to be hard or difficult for that intention to come your way because you don't even resonate with feeling joy or that. So we want to have you just sit into the experience of what it's going to feel like to have what you say you want. And now I'm going to have you just identify, well, what is getting in the way? What is getting in the, what negative belief do you have? And just let it surface. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't have what it takes. All those negative beliefs. Let's just have you identify even two or three of them, or even one. Just come up with a belief that you think is holding you back from having what you want. And this is a belief that we're going to clear. So it's not like it's going to stay with you, but we need to identify it in order for it to clear. I don't have the support. People think I'm crazy. you know, um, I never got what I want before. How am I going to get it now? All kinds of beliefs that may be surfacing. Now, what do you think is a positive belief? What is a positive belief that would align you with having what you want? And it could be just the opposite. I have what it takes. I deserve it. I'm capable. I'm lovable. All those wonderful positive beliefs, kind of like an affirmation. So, what would be some of the positive affirmations that would really help you to align with what you say you want? And a little extra step would be, what is an inner strength or positive quality that would help you to achieve your intention? It'd be confidence, reassurance, courage. What within you, if you could access it, would really help the situation? And then one of the most important things that we're going to be identifying now is the need. By fulfilling this intention, what need, what basic life need would this fulfill for you? Could be, I'd have more love. It could be financial security. It could be, courage, self-esteem. What basic life need would having this intention fulfilled, how would that help? Because growing up, if we didn't get this particular need met, then we're always looking through life about having our needs met. And so we want to align with having this need met, kind of a little new chip in the brain, so then other people can then allow themselves to fulfill your needs as well. But it needs to be something that you're familiar with. And so just by naming it, we can align you with getting that need met. And now, as I mentioned earlier, so we've identified, something that you want. We've identified some negative beliefs that are getting in the way. We've identified how you might feel once you have this intention fulfilled and the inner strength, um, and also the need it would fulfill. So now that we have all this information, we want to do the energy shift. So we want to shift the vibrations so that you can more align with fulfilling this intention. And I have several modalities that I wanted to teach, and other practical ways that you can use. But the one I picked for this is called the rainbow breath. Um, I mentioned earlier about the meridian system, which is a energy system in the body. Another system we have is a chakra system, and that's the system that Mark had mentioned a little while ago. So they're just energy centers in the body, and they all have different qualities. But in order to balance the whole chakra system, we're going to do what's called a rainbow breath. And we're going to start with just allowing the color red. So just imagine that your whole body is being filled with the color red. And this is associated with the root chakra. And the root chakra is all about survival, getting your basic life needs met, trust, security. So just allow yourself to breathe in from the bottoms of your toes to the tip of your head, inside your body, outside, just kind of like breathing. You're breathing red. And if you're having a difficult time visualizing red, because not everyone visualize it, you can, I don't know, you can imagine an apple, a red apple, and kind of use that to get yourself started, with the color red. Almost like you're breathing it in and then breathing red out of your body. Now we're going to move up to the color orange. And that's, well, first of all, let me go back to the root chakras located in the perineum. It's between the genitals and the anus. It's kind of where it is, the seat of our core. And now moving up to the pelvic chakra, that color is orange. So let's have you breathe in the color orange. And it's below the belly button. It's in the whole pelvic area. So fill your pelvis with orange and then feel the color of orange just permeating your whole body from the tips of your toes to the tip of your head, breathing. And the pelvic chakra has to do with creativity, and it's the manifestation chakra. So it's where you manifest. And it also has to do with your sensuality and your sexuality as well. So just breathe that color orange and let it permeate your whole being, kind of like you're breathing it. And next, we're going to move up to the solar plexus chakra that's above the belly button. And this is your power center. And so the color associated with this chakra is yellow, like a banana yellow. So just go ahead and breathe that yellow in. And after you fill the solar plexus with yellow, just fill your whole body with yellow. And this chakra, it is your power center, but it always also has to do with motivation, drive, charisma, action. So this is the action chakra. And so we want to be able to take that action that we need to manifest our intentions. So let's continue to breathe yellow all the way up your body, breathing it in and breathing it out. And now moving up to the heart chakra, so in the center by your heart there. The color associated with the heart is green. So let's have you breathe the color green in. Fill your whole chest cavity with green. And of course, the heart chakra is about unconditional love, joy. And breathe green up through the bottoms of your feet, tips of your head, tip of your head down as well, so that your whole body is filled with this beautiful green. You're bathing yourself in green. It also have to do with, understanding and compassion, all the qualities of love, peace, joy. And now moving up to the throat chakra. And the throat chakra, the color for that is blue. Beautiful, brilliant blue. So if you breathe in blue and fill your whole neck and your whole throat cavity. And the throat chakra has to do with new beginnings. It's about new possibilities. It's about speaking your truth and living your truth. This is one of my favorite chakras. As you move into being really, loving yourself and knowing who you really are out in the world and your essence, you can begin to live your truth. And it starts by at least balancing the chakra with the color blue. So fill your whole body with blue. Again, from the tip of your toes to the tip of your head, all the way in and out through your whole body, like you're breathing it in and out. And now moving up to the next chakra, which would be the brow chakra. It's in the middle of your forehead there. And the color associated with this chakra is indigo. And indigo is like a deep, deep navy blue, almost purple. And so just fill your body with a beautiful indigo. And this chakra has to do with your higher mental faculties. It has to do with your intuition and your wisdom. And it begins to connect us to that divine energy that we will activate when we activate the crown chakra. But we're going to focus on the brow right now and just breathe in that color indigo and permeate your whole being with this indigo color. And now moving up to the crown chakra. Some disciplines see it as white. The one I learned was more of it's more of a really beautiful pink color. And so let's breathe in. Why don't we just pick the color white? Let's just go with white today and just fill your whole being with the color white. And the color white really has all the colors of the spectrum uh, within it. So every time you visualize white, and the crown is just a little bit above the head, and that has to do with your divine essence, your connection with the divine, God, higher power, universal energy, source, whatever word you use. So let's breathe in that white and let it permeate through your whole body. And as we're completing this modality, we'll just have you take a couple of deep breaths in and out through your nose again. center your energy back down into your heart. And then when you're comfortable, you can just open your eyes and come back into your space.
Lovely.
All right, thank you. And now the most important part is to imagine yourself manifesting your intention or aligning with your intention or experiencing your intention. That's the word I'm looking for. If you can actually experience your intention. So go back to your intention and you should be able to feel that it's more possible, that it's not way far out of reach. It's like closer to you. And so, what's your experience, Mark? Have you noticed any shift from that modality and just identifying the negative beliefs and the positive beliefs and the needs, feelings? You noticed
Yeah,
anything?
absolutely. I was clearly able to identify what my intention was
Okay,
and really had that set up. And then at this point, really feeling the shift in that energy. And
wonderful.
yeah, really being in that place.
Good. And so that's just a little flavor. I just wanted to give people a little flavor of what's possible. And of course, then when we do the problems, we always look at, well, what is the opportunity that the problem is trying to get you to get? Because if I think that our concerns and the things that come our way that we wish wouldn't, they're on purpose. And if we can just stop long enough to say, all right, what is it that you're trying to get me to get? And just really listen. And it really, centers us in our heart. And that's another way that people can, begin to, take responsibility. I really do think that we have a responsibility to, clear our patterns. And like, wouldn't it be great if before every couple who had children, if they cleared their generational patterns? I mean, what a world we would live in, because you wouldn't be bringing those generational patterns to your children. They would have been cleared. So that's an ideal that I have. for,
I love
for
it. And I love that people are going to be able to listen to this over and over again as different things come up. They're like, oh, wait, I've got this tool. Let me go back to that podcast with Victoria and Dr. Dream. And now here's a different intention. And you've just given this outline or this process. I love it. I love it. This is what I wanted. And so that's amazing.
And then another thing that I did is I wrote this book. It's called What Would Love Do Now? It's a guide to living an extraordinary life. And this is where I give the reader what I just did. Okay, so I give it away, right? And so the process that you go through to identify like an incident in the past that is unresolved, there's a little 9-step process that I take people through so you can clear your own uh, incidences of hurt from the past in the privacy of your own home using this book. And that's the whole reason I wrote it, is to give it away, really. And I go through the different categories in life, like parents. I really have a belief that if you can just heal your relationship with your parents, wow, you'll be so much free to be available for the people that you love in your life. And then we go into the siblings and the loved ones, the spouses and the coworkers and the bosses. So I go through each area of life so you can bring an unhealed area. I mean, if you think about it, if you're starting a new job or you're going on an interview, but you're bringing all the baggage from your old boss and your old coworkers and maybe not being paid for what you're sitting in that interview and you've got all that stuff in the background. So why not clear all that stuff up before just to support yourself in, you know, having what you want, having what you say you want in life. So
It's beautiful that that's available, and I know that they can get that on Amazon. one of the things that I've always really appreciated about you, because we've over 23 years, I've gotten to not just experience what you do, but I've gotten to know you and I've gotten to watch you at different times in your life. And you, like every other human, have gone through challenging times and everything. And I love that this technique you actively use. I believe it's not a stretch to say on a daily basis as things come up for you, to just keep those energy channels clear and to keep opening up so whatever expansion is being called forth can happen. And I really love that.
Well, thank you. And I feel like I can't take anywhere where I haven't gone. So I have mother issues. I'm going to side with the client, Oh, yeah, my mother was that way too, right? Rather than clearing and being, having, I can't say all of them have been clear, but most of them, because I do. I can't say I do everything daily, but at least weekly, I do something to, because I can't take, like I said, anywhere where I haven't gone. And so that's why I like to be at the highest vibration as I can, just in life in general, and especially when I'm seeing a client, So, and another book that I just wanted to mention because you wanted me to do this also is
Please.
another book is Three Magical Words for a Magical Life. And the magical words are not I love you. They are I am sorry. So it's a sequel to the other book where you can apologize to the people that you need to apologize to and receive an apology from the people who you need to or have always wanted to, because some people are incapable of apologizing or they're deceased. I mean, you can still receive the apology that you need all through the visualization. Just by imagining you're 5 years old and you're wanting your daddy to say something to you rather than what he said, you can just imagine that he's there and you're in your little dress or you're in your little, you know, outfit and you can really see your dad there and really allow yourself to feel that. And that's another way that I want to give it away, just to so you can take care of your own life, and your own patterns on your own in the privacy of your own home, really. And then if anyone, needs an extra boost or needs some help that they can't get to, that's when you call me, Mark, because you've got your own tools. Then there must be a pattern that is hidden from my view. And it's just a pattern. I really want to tell people that it's just a pattern. There's nothing flawed or wrong with you, even though you may feel that from time to time. And I feel like it's um, just important to move forward in life and, you know, clear the patterns. So
And
I'm a,
one of
I'm
the
a, I'm a frequency private eye. I don't
I love that. One of the
like.
things I've learned from you is we're not stuck with anything.
Right.
That whatever it is, and as I say, in my own experience in and out of relationships and being a father and being just a human in this life experience, there are times that things have felt pretty heavy, and it. I'm just so blessed to have met you over 23 years ago, and to, all your work is done over the phone. You make yourself very available. You have an online booking system and everything else, and you do follow up. It always impressed me that after a couple of days after the session, I'd get a call, or Stephanie would get a call if it was her session, and you would say, "How are you feeling?" and "How's it? What's happening?" And just your level again. It goes back to your level of love and compassion, and you have changed my life and the lives of people that I love dearly. I tell people that we, at this point in the game of life, we pick up 15 sessions from you at the beginning of the year.
Every year.
Stephanie and I keep 10, and we give Maya and her husband 5, and it's that it's a safety net for us. It's just a reminder again that we're not stuck with anything, that there's a person and a modality that can assist us. And I understand that not everyone's going to be able to do that, but everyone can listen to this podcast again and again and again.
Mhm.
A lot of people are going to be able to buy your book, and have just that right there to take them through it. And you have absolutely dedicated your life to being there for people, and now with the books and everything, making it easy for people to do it on their own. And it's
Yeah.
fabulous. It really is fabulous.
Yeah,
Now,
so it's been an honor. I want to let you know to serve you and your family. It's been just precious, just precious. Yeah, yeah.
so
And I
much
do, I,
in
I
those
do give.
23 years. Hmm.
What's that?
So much in those
Oh
23
yes,
years.
yes, yeah. Yeah. And I
We
do see clients.
often,
Yeah, I do see clients in my office too. I live in Phoenix, so if anyone would prefer a, private session, I do that as well. But most of them are over the phone. Yeah, and you can call me if you have any questions and give you my phone number. I'm not sure if this is the right time to do that, but because if you have a question, rather than just booking online, which you could do, but you could, connect with me and see if it's a fit. I think when people used to call me from the yellow pages for counseling, I said, well, as you're looking for a counselor, it's really important for you to pick someone that you feel comfortable with, even if it's not me. If it's not a match for you, I'd rather have you go to someone else and get your, counseling. That's when I was doing counseling, than it have to be me. So I think it's really important for people to connect with me. Or if you have any questions about the method or something that you didn't understand, you can always give me a call.
well, let's give everyone information how they can find you online, your phone number, whatever it is you want to share with people.
Okay.
Go ahead. This is a perfect time.
Okay, good. Okay, so my phone number is 602-864-7662. It's my cell phone, my one and only. And if you're interested in finding out more about the work I do, it's extraordinaryoutcomes.com. So it's extraordinary outcomes because you're going to get outcomes. There you go. And then my book is similar. It's extraordinaryoutcomespublishing.com. So that's how you can get a hold of me. And then if we have any remainder of time today, I would love to teach a few more modalities, some of the things that you can use. I mean, I taught the rainbow breath, which is wonderful, but there's some other modalities, that we could review.
Well, let's review your second most favorite out of what you've got here. What are you thinking?
Okay. Well, I'm thinking it's called the thymus tap. The thymus gland is located right beneath the breastbone in front of the heart. And by tapping that, this energizes your immune system. It centers you in your heart. And there's one more thing. It increases your energy. So if you're feeling like you're like needing a good cup of coffee and you don't have time to go get one, you can just focus. And you can do this to the rhythm of a waltz beat, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or you can do it to any rhythm that you feel like is so that's the one I use quite a bit.
And how long would someone do that for?
Oh, I don't know, a minute or two, really. It's really quick, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was quick. Let's go into another one.
Okay, another one I call is called the zip ups. So to neutralize any negative energy, you bring the palm of your hand. Let's see if I can stand up the palm of your hand and right above the pubic bone, and you just zip up like you're zipping up a jacket, like that. And this increases your energy, and it's really good to neutralize negativity. So if you like I'm not too fond of swearing. So if anyone swears in my presence, I just zip myself up and I just let it go, you know? Or if I witness someone arguing in the grocery store or something and it really affects me, I just zip myself up and it just energizes me. So that's
And
another,
can you do that sitting down, or is this mostly
absolutely.
standing up? You can do it
No,
sitting down.
yeah, I do it in the car.
And
So,
how many zips do you do?
uh, I don't think there's a really a rule, but 10 maybe, 5 to 10.
Okay, excellent.
And so you feel better. It's really about your energy, and that's a good way that you can get to know yourself as well by doing some of these things. Oh, I just need 3 today. Okay, great. Yeah. So,
I love it. And we still have time for one more. Let's do
oh,
that
okay.
last one you've got.
Okay. This one is called the calming crossovers. And this is really good. It balances your uh, brain hemispheres, which is so important. We have the left brain and we have the right brain. We want to balance them. It also releases emotional and environmental stress. So as you're sitting, you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle. Bring your arms out in front. Bring your left wrist over the right. Clasp and hook. Yeah, all the way through. Very good. And just close your eyes and just breathe in through your nose and also out through the nose. And you can feel, I just felt my shoulders just really drop down. So when you feel like you're moving in more of a relaxed state, then you can uncross your ankles, uncross your hands, and do the opposite. The right ankle over the left, the right wrist over the left, clasp and hook, and breathe again. And you might find yourself kind of sighing, like, ah, you can actually feel yourself relaxing. And then to complete this, you would uncross your ankles, uncross your fingers, but now put your fingers together like this. And this is going to balance your left and right hemispheres of the brain. There you go. It's called the calming crossovers. It's good for releasing emotional and environmental stress, and it balances your brain hemispheres, which we could all use a little help with that.
Wow. I knew that this was going to be a powerful episode of the It's All Good show. You giving us these tools and taking us through the main process and then a few of these modalities. I'm just so excited, and I thank you so much. I could tear up right now. I am so blessed to have the angels that have shown up in my life show up, and you are at the very top of that list as you have been for 23 years. And Victoria Benoit, from my heart and the heart of all the people you have touched, and now the hearts of the people that have watched this podcast, we thank you for being here and sharing of yourself, your gifts, and the tools that have assisted you and assisted the lives of so many others. We thank you very much, and I couldn't love you more than I love you right now, dear.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You take care.
Okay. You too.